Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Prediction Show from Eagle Pass Sports Central, coming to you live today from Brown Chevrolet Buick GMC of Eagle Pass. We're live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Look us up, Eagle Pass Sports Central. We appreciate all of you who have subscribed over the past week to both our Facebook and YouTube channels. Thank you for trusting Eagle Pass Sports Central for all of your football coverage this high school football season. Morris, as we bring you into the broadcast, we've got both coaching staffs here. Two important games for both of these teams starting tomorrow with the Eagles. You'll be talking to that coaching staff in a minute. Mavericks will be playing here at the SAC on Friday.
Well, as you well know, the Mavericks had their off week. The Eagles traveled to neutral field in Jordanton against Corpus Christi Moody, a really good outcome for them there. Before we even head on, I'm going to give the mic to Coach Villaseñor because he has a very important belated birthday.
Yes, just want to thank you, first of all. Just a belated birthday to my wife, Celia. She's 21 years young. No. But no, she had a great day, and it's always special when you get to sit down at the dinner table and have a good meal with family.
Let me take a little bit of our time here. You took Matty Ice to if I go there, I break out in maroon rash. But you took him to see Texas and Alabama. How was that?
Well, the open week landed, had an opportune time and took advantage and took him to his first college football game. And I think we picked a good one.
Most definitely.
Got our money's worth. And again, just cherishing the family time once again.
Ruben?
Thank you. Again, coming to you live today from Brown Chevrolet Buick GMC here in Eagle Pass. Come on down and visit Alan and his staff. Let's see what they can do for you down here at Brown Chevrolet Buick GMC. We're going to start this way to my left with the Maverick coaching staff for the week. Coach Villaseñor, you had an open week.
Yes, sir.
Give us a little bit of an idea of what an open week looks like for the Maverick program. What do you work on? What do you focus on? What do you use that time to prepare for?
Well, it's a good time to reflect on what you didn't do so well the previous 2 weeks. We got the early draw on week 3 on the open week. So really honed in the early part of the open week on some fundamental workouts, getting back to just the basics, blocking, tackling, catching, fundamental part. We dove into the game plan the latter part of the week and kind of that way the kids got a good grasp heading into our weekly routine, which was these past couple of days.
Great. As we look forward to game on Friday, you've got the Nixon Mustangs coming in. They're coming in with a 1-2 record overall, 0-1 already in district. They've got a loss to Southside. They're 1-1 against the two Corpus Christi schools, King and Ray. And what do they bring that you all are looking out for on Friday?
Well, I mean, they have a new coaching staff, and you can see that on tape. It's a different offense, a different defense, but the physicality, the aggressiveness is certainly there. I think in years past, Nixon is known for that, and you certainly see that. It's a different look, like I said, in those phases of the game. But, they got a good staff, and we expect their best shot on Friday night.
Of course, part of that new coaching staff includes a familiar face to you and to all of us here in Eagle Pass, right?
Certainly. Going up against my dad, who's a defensive coordinator, speak to him every day. I think, our conversation's been pretty dry these past couple of days. How's the weather? Talking a little bit about politics and the Queen Elizabeth, but not much about football.
No X's and O's for the past couple of weeks for you fellas.
X's and O's, but life is short. I'm not. In the years past, we kind of ignore the calls or whatever. Life's too short, and I love him very much.
Good, great. Turn to offensive coordinator Heriberto Royce here. Coach, talk to us a little bit about what your offense does on an off week, on an open week, to prepare, maybe getting back to some of these fundamentals that Coach Villaseñor was talking about.
That's right, Mr. Valdez. Yeah, we added, we took advantage of the bye week. We added some, some kind of like strength and conditioning, kind of go back to the fundamentals. But basically at the end of last week, we were adding kind of like what we wanted to add, something new, the new scheme. And obviously this week we took advantage with the time, having a week off or week by week to complement both the old scheme and new scheme that we have so far up to the third week. And our kids responded well. They we kind of rep everything that we have in the playbook. Obviously, going into against Nixon, we want to kind of find a way to mix it up as much as we can. They put a lot of pressure on the edges outside. They're a 4-2-5 kind of look defensively, like Coach said. They're well coached. We're gonna see. We see that the improvement that they have as far as from early week to later last week, even though they didn't come out with a result, but they're aggressive. They're a good fundamental defense. We expect to get a lot of pressure, especially in early downs. So we need to we kind of have the scheme that we feel that is going to be a good balance. Obviously, we need to take care of the field advantage and execute every single time that we have a chance. If we don't come out with a score, which is our goal every single time, obviously put our defense in a good situation where it's not enough field advantage for themselves.
Tell us a little bit more about what you've seen on tape. You mentioned they're quick on the outside from the Nixon Mustangs, but defensively, what have you seen that you've got to look out for on Friday?
Defensively, we're going to get a lot of pressures on the A gaps from the linebackers. They flow hard anytime you have a play action, any movement with the quarterback, in between the quarterback and the running back. You have a lot of flow. They're over aggressive, so we need to counter punch that in a way where we stay balanced and keep them honest. They're aggressive, they're fast. Obviously, again, the edge people, the defensive ends, they're aggressive. So they want to take away our outside scheme, our outside zones, our toss, things like that. But obviously, that's what we created some scheme where we're going to have play action, obviously complemented with a pass out of the play action, and hopefully our kids respond well and execute. But at the end of the day, we got to execute. Obviously, we feel very confident with the scheme that we have, but we got to make sure that we execute on Friday night.
Absolutely. We'll ask defensive coordinator Renan Ramirez here, what did the defense do in the off week to prep for the coming week?
Yes, again, as well, it was an overall program as far as what we did. More than anything on defense, we learned how to finish. Okay, obviously execute at a high level. Tackling was a big deal. Defeating blocks as well. We matched up well versus our offense. They give us a good picture versus us, giving them a good picture as well. And as Coach mentioned, leading up to the game plan towards the latter part of the week last week. Other than that, high on the conditioning part, that way we can sustain 48 minutes throughout.
Offensively, what are you looking for from Nixon coming in on Friday?
They're based out of 10 personnel, so we expect a lot of that. With that, they'll get into two back looks, a tight end set as well. They're going to want to establish the run early, especially early on the downs. And if they do that, they get an opportunity. They'll want to mix in the pass as well. They have their go-to guy, number 7. They'll line up everywhere, whether he splits out or in the backfield. At the end of the day, he's there for a reason. They want to feed him the ball. He gets a lot of touches. We need to be able to identify him, where he's at in the formation, identify the formation, get lined up, play well. They're going to come high energy. We need to match that early and sustain it throughout the whole game, as we mentioned. Match the physicality, as Coach mentioned as well. And hopefully we can do that, execute at a high level, and hopefully come out on top. Give the ball to our offense when we need it. We can't trade punches, that's for sure. We've been learning that. And if it comes down to us, I think the past couple of weeks have helped us to where it comes down to us, and we need to make that final play and make that final stop. That way we can come out on top.
We'll be bringing that game live. Thank you so much, Coach. Here on Eagle Pass Sports Central, we'll pass the mic back here to Coach Diaz. Coach, start a district season for you all now. It's for real. I mean, those first 2 games obviously are always for real. The hits hurt the same for the kids down on the field, right? But now, starting this Friday, they start counting for your playoff tally. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, you look at it as a fresh start and really learn and grow from, the previous 2 games. We got an 8-week grind coming up, and we got to make sure that we stay healthy. We stay engaged and focus on what we need to do individually and collectively as a team, and just make sure that we progress and give it our best shot Friday night. We want to invite the community out Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff, parents' night, real special moment for our kids. Like we've been telling the kids, we told them, when your parents put on the white jersey, you fill them up with joy. So the best thing that you can give your family on Friday night is fill them up with joy, with your effort, your attitude, and let's play Maverick football.
I'm ready to play now, Coach. That's a great pep talk. Good job. 7 o'clock Friday, we're going to bring it to you live here on Eagle Pass Sports Central from Cozumel Foster Veterans Memorial Stadium. The Mavericks with the Nixon Mustangs coming in. And we wish the coaching staff and all your kids the best on Friday. We'll be there bringing it to you live to all of our folks here. Morris, before we go over, we want to remind folks we're here live here at Brown Chevrolet Buick GMC of Eagle Pass, and we want to invite our friend Alan Ortiz to come join the broadcast now.
Well, Mr. Adan Ortiz, I thought you were going to send us Sal Battaglia today.
Well, all of a sudden I said, Sal, you're going to speak today. And all of a sudden you got this little. So, he said, I'll be back.
And we haven't seen him since.
We haven't seen him since, right.
But he's selling cars, though. He's
Well, as I told everybody, and these guys will know it and hear it, if you get within 3 feet of his space, you're going to buy a car. So stay 5 feet, 4 feet, but if you get 3 feet close to him, you're going to buy a car. Anyway, I want to thank you, coaches. Most importantly, I want to thank the great city of Eagle Pass, the high schools, both high schools. I understand there is a program going on between the high schools. It's called 2 teams, 1 team, 1 purpose. And I had the privilege of having one of your students come over here and ask for a donation for that program. And I think it involves bullying and some other stuff. And I think it's a great, great program. I like seeing that because, something that you can take from a person that'll carry on for the rest of their life is if you take away their self-esteem, nothing will ever come out of that person. And we need to make sure that self-esteem is one of the things that we instill in these kids because that gives them the confidence to move forward and do better things in their life because trust me, and it's, we'll know all our lives are with peaks and valleys, and we got to be prepared for those valleys. Thank the high schools, the supporting staff for the football team, the bands, the cheer teams, the dance teams, the young females that are out there, the trainers. I see it. The guys go out and play, and y'all do a great job of coaching. But without a support staff that they have right now, you couldn't function. And I just want to reach out to you all and say thank you. And thank you for being here again.
So
Thank you, Adan.
We want to thank Mr. Adan Ortiz for hosting our prediction show. And Rennie's really happy that the food he wanted some salad, I think, today. But so we're telling him he could take the bread off what we're eating here.
You've been talking to Coach Grab.
You've been talking to Coach Grab. Well, it's time to we got Coach Tom Gonzalez and the Eagle coaching staff here. We will get our camera moved over and get everybody in. It's a little easier job to get them all in than with Rennie on the other side over there. But now, all joking aside, Coach Tom Gonzalez, Coach Graff, and the Eagle staff, really, well, what can you say? You travel to Jordanton, neutral field. Corpus Christi Moody comes in 58-0. The Eagles on top. Got a lot of your players. You got a chance, I think, to see your depth. You got to see a lot of players play, and I think that's important. But you have to be really overjoyed about 601 total yards.
No, definitely. Our offense both offense and defense have been really consistent about their play, and Friday night was no different. Our coaches do a great job with those guys. And like you said, we got a lot of kids to play or a chance to play, and that was a big deal for us.
Well, 371 yards on the ground with 4 touchdowns, 230 yards passing with 4 touchdowns there also. Great individual performances again from TJ Mares, Isaac Stanwyck, Andres Garcia got some playing time, Juan Sierra also at running back. And we'll talk to Coach Roger here in a minute to talk about the defensive standouts. But tell us a little bit about your overall performance.
Well, overall, like we said, our standouts are the guys we count on every game really came through again, and they've been doing that the whole season so far, and that's what we expect. We expect our expectations, our excellence, and like we tell the guys, doesn't matter who's on the field, that the expectation is the same.
Well, Ruben and I were talking about on offense, your offensive line, front four doing a great job. Then you've got TJ Mares, Isaac Stanwyck, and the rest of your offense. But not many teams can say that, because we talked about your receivers and they have such great hands, and you don't see a lot of drop passes from your receivers.
Yeah, and that's the way they practice. And one thing, if they make a mistake at practice, they're called on it. They do a good job. But, the coaches are there to praise them. But these guys work hard every single day, and they want perfection. And these guys are really working hard and doing a great job of it.
We'll come back to you in a minute to finish up and talk a little bit about Edinburgh North in Laredo. But Coach Javier Cardenas on offense, I know that Coach Gonzalez maybe stole a little bit of your thunder, but I know that you've got plenty to say about your offense.
Well, more than anything, just proud of course, of the effort not only of our kids but of our coaches, and it's a very strong foundation for us to build on and continue building on. And of course, Friday night it was on display. It was obviously very good. We took care of the football, fundamentally sound, and we were able to get better at our scheme, our base scheme as well. And it's good to always see all our kids getting into the field, getting an opportunity to participate. That's always good. But of course, the kids that had to have a big game had a big game. TJ again, this is back-to-back games. He's over 200 yards. Isaac, he knows his role. The first 3 weeks. He knows that he's become more of a passer, and he knows when to give off the ball. Of course, our receivers, I think all our receivers at one point, our starters have more than 2 or 3 touches each. And then, of course, bringing in the reserves and getting some action, also helps. So, all around, it was just a very satisfying feeling. And, of course, more than anything, just putting it into action on the field. It was good to see it and a good win, obviously, against Moody.
Well, we spoke during our broadcast about the maturity now of Isaac Stanwyck, especially throwing the football.
It is. He's. Isaac. What can you say? Isaac and TJ are. They complement each other very well. And then again, you have to kind of take care of. Some attitude sometimes where some of these kids that want to be the superstars, but they know how to mesh and they know how to handle that very well, and that's a sign of maturity. That's that's one less thing that we don't have to worry about. So the way they complement and the way they work each other is outstanding. It's just a reflection of the job that our coaches do with them, day in, day out. And of course, that just goes to say that the guys in the trenches, our O-line did a fantastic job this week. Derek Breeze, Isaiah Santos, and Levi Lentz, those guys were player of the week. But without them, TJ was really good to recognize them this week, the way they were physical on Friday. And of course, we know that without those guys, Jose Rendon and we call him Primo, our other tackle. Without those guys, it's really hard to do much.
Well, we mentioned the fact about TJ, running north and south, pretty much. There's not much him, it's down the field.
Down the field, but the other thing about TJ, he's a heck of a blocker. That's one thing that comes out in film. He doesn't shy away. Of course, he's very talented when it comes to running the football, but he'll do the small things that a lot of other backs maybe could have turned their back and say, no, I'm not going to do the blocking. TJ takes it personal. You get some really good blocks along the game, and last week was no different. He had some really, really excellent blocks. And again, he's doing that. Our line's doing that. Our receivers are catching and being physical. It's just, the identity that we've tried to establish these last 5-6 years in the program.
Tell us a little bit. What are you looking? What Edinburgh North, especially their defense? What's it?
Edinburgh is coming off a
challenge?
big win. They came off a big win against Sherland Pioneer last week, 42-39. So they're 2-1, carrying momentum. And on defense, they're going to run a 4-2 box and some variations. But they got number 21, Luis Gonzalez. That's a really solid kid. I think that's the backbone of the defense. And our kids have seen multiple coverages throughout the first 3 games, even going back to last year. So it's just a matter of staying fundamentally sound. And the big premium that we put in our program is the communication part among, when they're on the field. Of course, we can call the plays and we can scheme, but it's ultimately up to them to put it to performance. So we like our preparation, and we're going to carry on the momentum that we had these last couple of weeks.
Well, let's hear from Roger Olivas. We discussed during our broadcast, Coach, about how sometimes it becomes important, even when you start making, putting new faces in there to play, to keep the goose egg on the scoreboard.
Yes, and we're already down. Gunner Caballero had a bad ankle, and we rested him this week, so it gave another opportunity to Diego Rodriguez to step up in his role. And the boys performed. We told them early, you have a great week of practice, you get after our offense, scout team, and you're going to get a chance to play. If everybody does their job, and that's always our goal: is get everybody on the field and get them experience. But yes, like you said, our first team defense did their job. We started rotating some, and sometimes it gives Coach Gonzalez a headache there. He's saying, why so many at one time? But they came through. They, it made it easy for us. We rotated a lot of players in. The majority of the second half. A lot of our boys gaining valuable experience there.
Well, we saw Moody, of course, like Coach Gonzalez was telling me before the show here, when you fall behind with an offense like Moody runs, it gets a little bit difficult to try to play catch up, right? You kind of got to open it up. I think you saw them go in the second half, maybe
More
challenge
spread.
your more spread, challenge your defensive backs a little more.
Yes, and our second unit, our backups, they go against our first team offense every day. So they're getting better. They're getting the work done. That's the best experience they got. They showed it. They held them to 0 points. I think 1 first down, and they did their job. They came through, and they feel real confident right now. We always tell them, if you can stop our first team offense, you can play with anybody.
Edinburgh North, what's that offense bringing to you?
Oh, they're 60-40, run to pass. They run the ball. This past week, they ran it at will up the middle, and a lot of zone, a lot of G's, and a lot of quarterback read. The quarterback is fast. They got a big offensive line. Their tailback runs hard. He's about 6 feet, 180 pounds, coming downhill. And then they got 2 receivers on the outside who are 166 and the other 161. So we got our hands full right now.
Well, there you have it. That's the defensive side of the Eagles. We're going to come talk to Coach Graff about what's going on around the Eagle Pass ISD athletic-wise. And, Coach, let us know what's going on here.
Okay, thanks, Morris. Other than football, high school football, on Thursday we have tennis. Wynn High School playing Harlandale there at the SAC. Volleyball, you got Memorial Junior High going to Del Rio. On Friday, volleyball, Wynn High School is going to play Southside. On Saturday, we got hosting our border bass cross country meet there at the SAC Saturday morning. And also volleyball, Eagle Pass High School at St. Augustine. And tennis, we've got Wynn High School at Uvalde.
Well, there you have it from Coach Graff. We are going to let Coach Tom Gonzalez with some final words on the Eagle game. It's a Thursday game.
Thursday night, tomorrow night at 7:00, and we'll be in Laredo at the SAC. We hope to have a big crowd, and I'd like to wish the Mavericks good luck also on Friday night.
Let me say something that I think is real important. We were real impressed at over in Jordanton with the Eagle Pass crowd.
Yeah, we had a big crowd.
We had a just like playing here.
Exactly.
Except the stadium's not as big as ours.
Exactly, it was full, but the crowd turned out, and our kids loved it.
Well, there you have it. We're going to head on now to do our predictions here. Last week, for those of us, all of us that picked A&M, that didn't go too well. And I think only Coach Graff picked Fredericksburg. The rest of us picked Kerrville. We all picked Pearsall this time, so we did decent. But as we stand right now, Coach Graff leading the pack at 19-11. Well, actually, I'm leading the pack at 20-10. And Coach Graff 19-11, and our other 3 predictors are at 15-15 each. So Coach Graff has requested that I go first this time. So I will do that. And let's see if everybody follows lead. I'll do the first 5 and then have Ruben do the last 5 here. Our first game, Poteet at Pearsall. I'm going to take Pearsall. Coach Graff?
Poteet.
Coach Gonzalez?
Poteet.
I don't know what I'm doing, right? Coach Villaseñor? Poteet. They must be like 3-0, right?
Yeah.
Ruben?
I know some fine people from Poteet. I'm going to go with Poteet.
Okay. I'm going to be the only one that's going to get it right. You watch. Cal Allen at Cuero. I'm going to take Cal Allen. Cuero. And Coach Gonzalez. Cuero. Coach Villaseñor.
Cuero.
Ruben.
Well, everybody must know something, so I'm going to go with Cuero.
Oh, yeah, you got it. The next game, Smithson Valley at Wagner. Smithson Valley. I'll take Smithson Valley. Coach Kraft.
Smithson Valley.
Smithson Valley. Coach Gonzalez.
Wagner.
Wagner, Coach Villaseñor.
I'm gonna go Wagner.
Wagner and Ruben.
I'll go with Wagner too.
Wagner. The next one is Rio Grande City at La Jolla Juarez Lincoln. I'm going to take Rio Grande City. Coach Graff
Rio Grande.
and Coach Gonzalez.
Rio Grande.
Coach Villaseñor
Rio Grande City.
and Ruben.
I'll go with La Jolla Juarez Lincoln. I'll go the other way here. See what happens.
Well, the last of my games here, South San against Legacy. I'm going to take Legacy. Coach Graff,
I'll go South San.
South San. Coach Gonzalez,
Legacy.
Legacy. Coach Villaseñor,
Legacy.
Legacy. And Ruben.
I'll go with Legacy there too.
Ruben, you've got the last five.
All right, that's our college football slate. We've had excellent games previous weekends. Of course, I don't need to remind you that game down in College Station or up in College Station on Saturday.
I do not want, I do not want to be reminded. Neither does Jimbo Fisher, by the way.
You and Jimbo Fisher haven't had a great week this week, but we're off on our college slate. First game up, Mississippi State versus LSU. We'll start with Morris here.
I'll take Mississippi State.
Coach Graff?
Mississippi State.
Coach Gonzalez?
LSU.
All right. Coach Villaseñor?
LSU.
Now I'm going to go with Mississippi State. I like the Pirate in his offense. They're coming in against LSU. Next one's a really interesting one. UTSA's had some really tight weeks here. Came out with the victory against Army up in West Point last week. UTSA at the Longhorns. Morris.
Guess what, guys? I'm going to take UTSA. Coach Graff.
Coach Graff.
Texas.
Longhorns, yes.
Coach Gonzalez.
Texas.
We don't have to ask
Yeah,
you,
you
do
know.
we?
Coach Villaseñor.
Texas.
And I'll go with the Longhorns as well. It's tight though. UTSA has had a good showing the first couple of weeks. Next game up, we're going. This is an interesting one. Miami at Texas A&M in College Station. Miami's ranked top 20. A&M went from number 6 to number 24. Huge drop in the standings. Morris?
Ruben, does it matter? Appalachian State wasn't even ranked. I'll take A&M.
Okay, Coach Graff.
Miami.
Coach Gonzalez.
A&M.
Coach Villaseñor.
A&M.
I'm going to go with A&M too. I think they've got to come back in them. That's a young program under Mario Cristobal over in Miami. I think the Aggies can pull it off. All right, we're going to go to the NFL now. Got a couple of NFL games to pick here. First one, Sunday night, Bears at Packers. Morris.
I don't know. I'm going to take the Packers, but they didn't play very well this past weekend.
Got a problem at wide receiver to the Packers. They need somebody to catch a pass. Coach Graff.
Packers.
Going to go with the Packers. Coach Gonzalez.
Packers.
Going with the Packers. Coach Villaseñor.
Packers.
And I believe in Justin Fields. I'm going to go with the Bears. Plus, my friend Gator in Chicago and Illinois. I want to send a big hello to him and let him know that I'm behind the Packers. Behind the Bears, rather. I'll pick the Bears there. All right, and the last one, the Bengals and Joe Burrow come in to Dallas against the Cowboys. Morris?
I'm going to take the Bengals.
Coach Graff.
Bengals.
Coach Gonzalez?
Bengals.
He had a hard time.
Coach
getting it out.
Villaseñor.
I want to pick up ground here. Cowboys.
All right. I'm going to go with the Bengals in that one. I think Jamar Chase and that crew is too much for the Cowboys there on Sunday.
Quincy Carter coming back.
Going back to the Quincy Carter days. We might need that. We might need that because poor Cooper Rush, I don't know what his preparation looked like this week. Hey, folks, we want to thank you for joining us here, and we want to thank Brown Chevrolet Buick GMC for sponsoring these broadcasts. Again, want to wish the Eagles good luck tomorrow down there in Laredo against Edinburgh North. We will be with you live at 7 o'clock on Friday, bringing you the action between the Knicks and Mustangs and the CCW and Mavericks. For my broadcasting partner, Morris Lipson Jr., my name is Ruben Valadez. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.